Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Lytham Spotlight Series, where we shine a light on public companies through insightful interviews and exclusive updates. My name is Robert Blum, managing partner here at Lytham and your host. Today, we are very excited to welcome Arianne Phosphate, who trades on the OTCQX under the ticker symbol DRRSF and on the TSXV under the ticker DAN. Arianne is a development stage phosphate mining company who is advancing the Lac project in Quebec, the largest phosphate greenfield project in the world. Yesterday, on October 10th, the company announced a strategic investment from a global mining company, and joining us to discuss the news in more detail is Arianne's president, Brian Ostroff. Before we begin, I want to remind everyone, if you haven't done so already, to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. And if you find today's episode insightful, hit that like button as well to let us know. I also want to note that this interview may feature forward-looking statements, so please refer to the end of this video or the links in the description box below for all appropriate disclaimers and disclosures. So, all right, without further ado, let's get started. Brian, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Robert. Appreciate the time.
Excellent. So let's definitely some good news here. Perhaps you can give us some high level on this before we dig down further.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you said, we announced yesterday that we've received a strategic investment from a global mining company. These guys are pretty big, and it's pretty exciting for us. Certainly the use of those funds, as we had alluded to, is to follow up some work that we've been doing on a downstream facility for our phosphate to really address some of these up and coming markets. Maybe we'll get into that in a little bit, and we can kind of walk some of your viewers through. So, look, Arianne has been moving this project forward. We've definitely been involved in numerous discussions with some potential partners, financiers, off-takers, we've gotten to a point where certainly there's a larger player that has expressed some interest and has made that investment. It's worth noting that this investment does not buy any exclusivity or anything like that. So that leaves us free to continue to talk with other interested parties. But, certainly it's very nice to see a large guy express some interest.
You just, sounds like a big plus here. You mentioned the downstream project. Maybe, get into what this means for the company and really the project as a whole.
Yeah, great. So, first and foremost, from a company standpoint, it furthers a relationship with a large guy that really can help us out. We were okay for money, but certainly it doesn't hurt to have a little bit more money in the kitty as well to let us advance the work that needs to be done. Mostly it really does, from a corporate perspective, with that relationship, allow us to piggyback on the experience of a group, of an entity that, builds mines, builds projects, and certainly has built out a bunch of these. From the project point of view, again, with the skill set of this group, it does provide us really, I think, a catalyst to getting this done. And really being able to use their past experience, their past expertise. I also think that it kind of serves as a catalyst for some of our other ongoing discussions. Even big guys like to see that maybe other big guys are interested. It's nice to show some love, to get some love from others. I think that aside from the corporate and the project, wearing the hat of an investor, this is a good deal. At the end of the day, it's excellent terms. It's convert, but we don't have to pay annual interest. Money comes in at a discount. In 3 years, it matures at its face value. But in the interim, this is convertible, and it's convertible at a very substantial premium to what our market price was. I think it's roughly 80 or 85%. So, no cash burden for the next 3 years. Good partner. And if they want to turn that debt into equity, they're doing it at substantial premium. Lastly, I think that just for stakeholders and the region, it really is important. First, it really does show that the Lac-Apol project is one of merit and one of interest to the guys that we're going to need involved if we're going to put this thing, put the puck in the net, to use a Canadianism. The Saguenay, look, Quebec in general has shown its interest, more than interest, its strong desire to be a global player in terms of the battery world. And the Bécancour area is for the NMC type batteries, and a bunch of companies have gotten involved there. And the Saguenay, is basically looking to build out Battery Valley 2, and that would be centered around the LFP battery. And so, obviously Arianne would play a very, very big part in the Saguenay advancing its desires for the LFP title. And look, again, this really does help the project come to fruition. Obviously still a lot of work to be done, but really does advance it. And I think in the region, there's, people are very, very excited about this news.
Now on this, the press release in particular, you sort of reference I think it's a global mining company, large global mining company. You were not able to, or you did not name who the partner was here. Maybe provide some rationales behind that and reasoning for not being able to, or not naming the partner here.
Yeah, look, that's a good question, and certainly a question I've been asked a lot over the last 24 hours. I think that just it's a matter for them, a strategic decision. They're still working their way through. They're looking to understand critical minerals, phosphate. It's not an area, they're a large global miner that mine a lot of different commodities. Critical minerals is something that they're warming up to, but they have homework to do themselves. And so I think that they are just purposely trying to lay a little low while they gather up the intelligence that they need to gather up.
Sometimes there's more being said by something not being said there in a way. Maybe take a step back for those that might be watching this video. Give us a little bit of a refresh on the project in general.
Sure. So, as you had alluded to, Arianne, we are the owners of the Lac-Apol mining project. So it's situated in the Saguenay region of Quebec. First and foremost, being in Quebec for phosphate is a big plus. Most of the world's phosphate comes from the Middle East and North Africa, along with some from Russia and China. Phosphate is something that we all need. It's predominantly used in fertilizer, and we're not going to live without it. What most people don't recognize is North America, South America, Western Europe, and a lot of Asia. We have to import it, and we're importing it, as I said, from parts of the world that just aren't always known for their security of supply or their love of the West. So we're here in Quebec. We are fully permitted, shovel ready at the mine level. The infrastructure is there. We make a very high purity concentrate because we come from an igneous deposit as opposed to the normal sedimentary. And actually, it's as a result of it being igneous and high purity that we have started to explore looking at downstream. So basically putting up our own downstream facility to take that igneous phosphate concentrate and turn it into a purified phosphoric acid, so PPA. And that's the material that is used beyond fertilizer and in things like the LFP battery, the lithium iron phosphate battery. Now, the LFP battery has really come on here. It's the most predominant, or on its way to becoming the most predominant of all the battery chemistries. It's used in automobiles, but very importantly, also used in energy storage. We're looking to put up a facility in the Saguenay region. The facility would be of pretty big scope, would look to produce about 350,000 tons a year of that high purity acid. That would make it the largest producer outside of China. And again, outside of China. So this is very important. Today, the LFP battery, over 90% of these batteries come from China. Now, the West is more and more looking to set up its own supply chains, with less risk, and they're going to need Western sources of product. And so Arianne today is the most advanced of the developing phosphate projects in the West, and will really be able to, talk or advance these needs.
Excellent. We got maybe about a minute left here. Any sort of concluding thoughts on the announcement and the project in general?
Yeah. So look, I think that this is a big event. I know that there are those that look at it and say, well, it's only a few $1,000,000 and it's a big project and eh. But the reality is it might be a small investment at the moment, but it, I think, demonstrates interest in the project and will accelerate some of our other discussions. I think that the government is very happy to see this happen. They are really doing all they can to see that these Western projects advance. And look, if these projects are going to advance, and when I say these, I mean the critical mineral projects, most of them are owned by small companies. And they are going to require the large companies to come in and get involved and share their balance sheets and share their expertise. And so I think that overall, not even necessarily to Arianne specifically, which, it is specific to Arianne, this investment, but in general, I think that it really demonstrates an interest and an importance of big companies coming in and helping make these little projects a go.
Great. Well, Brian, thank you so much for jumping on so quickly after this announcement. And thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in to another episode of the Lytham Spotlight Series. If you'd like to learn more about Lytham Partners, feel free to visit our website at lythampartners.com. And again, make sure to check out our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button so you're always up to date on the latest content. So, Brian, thank you very much. And thank you to everyone for watching.
Thank you.